Hello and welcome back. We are on Chapter 5, Section 7, which is applications, which essentially means we have a whole section of word problems. So we're going to go through each of the word problems together, starting on page 309. I'm on example 1, window code. To meet building codes, the area of the opening when the lower part of a double sash window is raised must be this big for first floor windows and this big for second floor windows. A contractor orders windows that have an opening measuring this much. Find the area of the opening and determine if the windows meet the first floor code. So you have to figure out how big the opening is first. So you're going to do length times width, and that's a great big multiplication problem. It's going to give you a total that you're going to round off, and you're going to see if it falls within the squared inches categories that are listed above. Does that make sense? On page 310, canals, example 2, the Panama Canal in Panama, which is a good place for the Panama Canal to be, is 50.7 miles long. The Suez Canal in Egypt is 119.9 miles long. How much longer is the Suez Canal? This is a subtraction problem. It is not an estimating problem. You actually have to subtract the decimals. Please remember to line up your decimals when you do adding and subtracting. And they walk you through all the steps. Example 3, iPad purchase. A large architectural firm spent that much money on 26 iPads for its architects. How much did each iPad cost? So it's trying to get you to set it up so that you say 26 times a variable equals. This is a division problem. You take their total number, $10,399.74, and you divide it by 26. Example 4, IRS driving allowance. The Internal Revenue Service allows a tax deduction of 55.5 cents per mile driven for business purposes in 2012. What deduction in dollars was allowed for driving 8,407 miles during the year? Now, this question is a little bogusly asked, because I think that's a word, because it's saying 55.5 cents, but it wants the answer in dollars. So it's expecting you to know that you have to convert this to dollars first. This is how much it costs per mile. This is how much you can charge back your business per mile if you're using your personal car. And they are driving 8,407 miles, so you're going to do this multiplication problem. And I would set it up the other way because it's a lot less work with this number on the bottom, but yes. And then we have multi-step problems. In example 5, starting on page 312, tracking a bank balance. Look, it's another bank balance question, just like we had on test number 1. Revenue of U.S. banks from checking account overdraft charges was $31.5 billion in a recent fiscal year. To avoid overdrafts and to track her spending, Maggie keeps a running account of her banking transactions. She checks her balance online, but because of pending amounts that post later, she keeps a separate record. She had this much money in her account. She used her debit card to pay this and make purchases of this and this and this. Then she deposited her weekly paycheck. What was her balance? And they walk you through how to do this kind of problem. And remember, it's her bank account. So when she pays bills, she's paying bills out of it. So it's starting as a positive number. When she pays bills, money goes out, so those are negative numbers. And then when she deposits her paycheck, that's money coming into her bank account. Those are positive numbers. So make sure that you keep track of which are negative and which are positive, and that you're beginning with a positive. That is why these problems can be difficult. It's just tracking those things. But if you can keep it straight in your head, you're going to be okay. I'd like you to try one of those just to make sure you're good at it, and then use this as your guide. Try the problem yourself, cover up the answer, and then let them walk you through how to do it. I could do it if you want, but I've done it for you before, so give it a shot. And if you're still having a problem with it, bring it back to class on Wednesday and we can go through it together. Example 6 is gas mileage. Ava filled her gas tank and noted that the odometer read 67,507.8. After the next fill up, the odometer read something else. It took 16.5 gallons to fill the tank. How many miles per gallon did Ava drive? So we want to know miles per gallon, and we need to figure out miles. know miles per gallon. And we know that it was 16.7, I want to say, 16.5 gallons. But we don't know how many miles. The first thing we have to do is take those two odometer readings and subtract them. So we had, she filled up at 68,006.1, and before it was 67,507.8. First thing we have to do is subtract these to get how many miles did she go since her last fill up. That number goes here. And then it's a long division problem. This many miles divided by this many gallons. So when we just set up the division problem, this number goes here and 16.5 goes here, and the very first thing we do is we send that decimal over so that we can do the long division without making mistakes. Okay? Now once again, because this is the end of the decimal chapter and because we did just cover the entire section on word problems, you've got a Translating for Success page on page 314. So it's additional help. If word problems are the thing that gets you about math, this is a way to make yourself stronger and make every other math class you take that much easier because you're getting good at word problems. So this is your way around that. So section A on page 315 asks you a bunch of word problems, and some of them have pictures. And that's all. There's just a section A. Why do they even put an A if there's nothing else? That's stupid. Anyway, let's do a couple of these together. So I've got some marked here that are questions that previous classes have asked about. One of them was number 9, the odometer reading, and this is how you set that up. One of them was number 13 on tank capacity. The water in a filled tank weighs 748.45 pounds. 1 cubic foot of water weighs 62.5 pounds. How many cubic feet of water does the tank hold? If each cubic foot weighs this and the total is this, then this is a division problem. I need to know how many of these are in this so I know how many of these are in this. So I'm going to set this up dividing 748.45 divided by 62.5, and I'm going to go this and that and that, and I'm going to do that long division. Number 17, Andrew bought a DVD of the movie Horton Hears a Who for his nephew for $23.99 plus $1.68 sales tax. He paid for it with a $50 bill. How much change did he receive? This is a multi-step question. The first thing you need to do is add $23.99 plus $1.68 to figure out how much total he paid for it, because he obviously bought it in California, not around here, and then subtract that total from the $50 bill. Number 21, a rectangular yard is 20 feet by 15 feet. The yard is covered with grass, except for an 8.5 foot square flower garden. How much grass is there? So we're going to do 20 times 15 feet, and that's going to give us 300 yards squared. But we're going to subtract the 8.5 foot square, so it's 8.5 times 8.5, and we're going to figure this out, and we're going to subtract it from our 300 in order to figure out how much is left for the lawn. Loose change on 25. In 2010, passengers at New York's JFK International Airport left this much money in loose change at airport checkpoints. This was this much more than passengers left the year in LA International Airport. How much change was left at LA? That's a subtraction problem. I don't know why that was a problem. Okay. Anyway, good luck, have fun, and please bring any questions you have to class on Wednesday. All right? I'll see you then. Take care.